Analytics, CMS Business School, Jain University, Bangalore. He is the senior practice consultant at Disciples India Center for Management Consulting and Research on Consulting Basis. Sir has published his book entitled Leader in the year 2020.
Mute your video.
Sorry. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, Amitya?
You can continue.
Okay. He has awarded as National Builder from All India Bhavasara Samraj in 2017, and IIT Bombay Computer Society of India has awarded him as Distinguished Associate Professor in the year 2017. He won second prize in Doctoral Competition Award in AIMS 60 International Conference at Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Pune in the year 2019. He has successfully completed Fundamentals of Digital Marketing course from Google Digital Unlock. He has attended ISO internal auditing training and certified as internal auditor. Adding on to this, sir has done paper presentation at national and international conferences and conducted several workshops. We are glad to invite you, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. If everything was set, shall I share my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. You can proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you. Just give me a second.
Yeah, and on behalf of Seshatripuram, we welcome you for this, accepting this invitation and presenting, sir.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Just give me a second.
Okay, done, sir.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the slide is visible to everyone.
Yeah, guys, respond.
Yes, sir.
You're able to view it. Yeah. So just give me a second. Well, thank you so much for that nice introduction, Rashmika. I think it's Rashmita, right? Sorry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's all about emerging trends in business analytics. Time is very limited for you as well as for me also. Let me quickly jump on to the core topic. Okay. So first, let me give the roadmap. We have almost I will take 70 to 75 minutes. In that, 10 to 15 minutes, I will spend my time over telling the concept of business analytics theoretically. And later on, I will directly jump on to the practical aspects of business analytics. I will introduce the concept of how to use Weka, how to use Google Colab, so that you can able to make use of machine learning as well as deep learning concept. Nevertheless, I will take you to the journey of Microsoft Cognitive Services. So this is the roadmap for what exactly you have planned for this particular webinar or the guest talk. Yeah. So to begin with, what is business analytics? So you can able to find n number of different definitions, but I don't want to give the bookish definition here. Let me give the practical aspect, especially what exactly we're using in business analytics. It's all about tools and techniques. For what purpose? To turn data into meaningful business insights. The question comes here, sir, what is data? What is information? What is knowledge? So for me, data is just a raw material. For your understanding, we can think about having alphabets A to Z. You don't convey anything, just know it's an alphabet, right? Once we can able to make out one sentence, it can convey the information. If I use the word I, hello, how are you in a proper way, definitely it can able to convey some information. Am I right? In the same way, so what exactly you want to do here is you want to make use of tools and techniques to turn data into meaningful business insights. I would like to highlight one more important thing. In the real world, data may come in alphabets, it may come in numeric, now we are all living in digital era, so it need not be the only these two, Raina. We may able to get the data in terms of audio, video, nevertheless images. So we are having huge set of data each and every day. So we are flooded with data. Data is the new oil, so that we can able to gain the business insights. In a one line, if I want to tell, the business analytics is all about we are using tools and techniques to turn the data into meaningful business insights, so that we can able to take the good decisions with respect to our business. I will take you to that particular journey. Don't worry. Okay. So it's just a short answer I can able to give for the term called business analytics. I'm hoping that this definition is clear to everyone. Okay. So now the question comes here is, which are all the tools we are going to use? Okay, what exactly the business insight? What is the meaning of business insights? We're going to teach each and everything in a practical aspects in the allotted time. What it actually looks like. You may have good data, messy data, garbage data. You can notice one thing that students like you might have uploaded your photo in social networks, either it may be an FB or Insta and somewhere else, right? So what you would like to call that particular image or that particular photo as, whether it is a data or information? May I get a quick response from the student side? If my voice is audible, may I expect some answers from student side? I think you have uploaded your photo, a selfie or some other group photo, whatever it may be, right, to the social network. What you would like to call that particular image as, whether it is a data or an information?
Data.
Data, sir.
Are you sure about that one? So in the chat window, I'm getting some answers there. So people are saying it's a data, right?
Information.
So, okay, some students they are saying it's information. We're getting some varied answers. Okay. Nevertheless, let me clear the clear picture here. Yes, you uploaded your photo. I purposefully use the term your photo. That means you know that when it was clicked, at what time, who is going to click by the particular photo. All this information you are having, right? So that data, it can give the insights about the background. So we can visualize all these things. Just we can visualize you're viewing one photo, it was clicked in the when you are in maybe in the 10th standard or in the 12th standard. As soon as you want to view it, it can give one kind of information for you, right? Oh, this photo was clicked on that time, on that date. So by whom? Like this, it's going to convey. In the same corner, if you are viewing the photo of unknown person, then it is just a data for you. It may be video or it may be audio, whatever it may be. If it is unknown for you, then you may call it as a data for us. There it may be a garbage data, noisy data, messy data. You have to remove all this. And you have to focus on what, how exactly I can able to gain the business insight so that I can look forward. Any doubt?
No, sir, you can carry forward.
Okay, thank you. You can interrupt me at any point of time if you're having any doubt. Okay, it is better to take up the questions at the end of the session so that it becomes easy for me to go ahead with the actual procedure. Okay, if you're having that kind of a scenario like that, okay, in the chances that there may be chances that you have to remove that messy data as well as noisy data, and you have to obtain the business insight. To move forward, let me give one simple example because everyone knows about the IPL and cricket match, right? So this is just an Simpsons paradox. I'll not talk about that particular concept of Simpsons. I'll talk about that one at the time of practical demonstration. Let me give a simple example here. There are two players are there, player A and player B, and their scoring also given. 3 matches has been played. Match 1, match 2, match 3. I'm hoping that can able to visualize this one, right? Match 1, match 2, match 3. Player A has scored 15 runs in 12 balls. 90 balls he has faced in second match, he has scored 81 runs. Like this, in match 3, player A has faced 130 balls and he has scored 117. I'm not making any gender differentiation. He or she, okay, it can be played by anyone. So for our hypothetical example, let me consider it as a men cricket team. Okay, like that, player B, He has scored 150. No, sorry, he has faced 150 ball, scored 165 runs. 60 balls, 48 runs. 30 balls, 24 runs. Just by looking over this data, okay, you can able to tell A was 10% higher points greater than B in each of the 3 matches. We can able to consider this one. No, yes, no, the player B has scored 15 runs out of 12 balls. Okay, strike rate is around 125. This strike rate is around 110. In the second match, strike rate for person B or the player B is 80. For player A, it is 90. Just by looking over this strike rate, you can tell A was a bit better compared to B, right? But if I want to consider the total overall series, if I consider the series, then you can notice that situation is a bit different. Strike rate for B is a bit higher compared to player A. So this situation, there is a term called, Simpson's paradox. Okay, so that means in one shot we could not able to compare the conclusion. So we require to analyze the data in depth. Okay, that's why people are used term that called data is the new oil. There is a need of the hour. Okay, so definitely you'll come to know all those things. Just give me just 30 to 40 minutes. I'll go through some of the examples like that. Okay, we just given the definition for business analytics. Now the question comes here is, what is analytics, right? I mentioned that analytics is going to make use of data. It is information technology. Why? We may require tools and techniques to process those data. Just by having tools and techniques, it is not possible. We have to apply the statistical analysis. Why? If I want to tell the relationship between the two variables, y is equal to mx plus p, either it is a linear regression or logistic regression, so on and so forth, we have to go for statistical analysis. Then what about the quantitative methods? In the case of quantitative methods, it is better to have something like no, here we have to talk about here we have to talk about how exactly we can able to build the models. Okay, yes, in a qualitative terms as well as in a quantitative terms, we have to analyze the data in a more preferable manner. Mathematical or computer-based model that is going to play some very vital role here. A combination of all these things, it may help business analysts to gain more knowledge on the business, what was happened previously, what we can do, so that we can able to reach to the destination, make better and fact-based decisions. So let me tell some of the few buzzwords quickly. Like apart from business analytics, business intelligence, you may use data science, decision science, blah blah blah. Business intelligence, data science, and I think I can able to use more term called data engineering also, right? Then what is the exact meaning of all these 4 categories? Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. Okay, but the main core concept for all this kind of science here is they all support the same goal. So that is nothing but using tools and techniques to turn the data so that we can able to gain the business insights. Okay, then in what ways are this kind of terminologies make it differ? Intelligence, science, data science, decision science as well as data science. So here comes the differentiation. Okay, so let me focus more on this business analytics as well as data science. Later on, I can able to take you towards business intelligence as well as data engineering concept. If you're having any data, it is better to visualize that one. Let me focus on this column first, business analytics. Later on, I will take you to business intelligence as well as data science. I don't request all the students, all the participants, please observe this column here, business analytics column. What exactly we'll do here? We may make use of dashboards. For what purpose? It is for reports. Like this, it is the exploratory analytics. We may able to do exploratory analytics, statistical modeling, we may apply machine learning, business recommendation, as well as business action. So in case of business analytics, what is the meaning of this dashboard as well as the reports? In case of dashboard, just you can visualize. If you are presenting the data, randomly like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nobody going to care about those data. Everything has to be presented in terms of dashboards so that So you can able to convince the top level management that yes, there is a requirement of change with respect to the model or with respect to the procedure, what exactly you are following. So especially in case of the business analytics, we may make use of preparation of dashboards as well as exploratory analytics. Then coming to the emerging trends, we should not forget our title of the webinar, emerging trends, right? Which are all the tools we may use for dashboards. To answer that particular questions, we may use Tableau, we may use Power BI. Not only these two, we can use our old friend Microsoft Excel. Okay, of course. So it has come up with a lot of advanced features. These are all some of the tools we may going to use for the visualization purpose. Microsoft Power BI, that you can use that one for free of cost also. Desktop for BI, it is available for free of cost, not to pay anything. For Tableau and all, there is a 15 days trial version. You can use it, and it is purely used for visualization purpose. Okay. Once I use the term for business analytics, there I have to go for statistical modeling. So the question comes here is, sir, in what way machine learning is different from statistical modeling? In case of statistical modeling, there we'll talk about relationship between two variables, how these two variables are related with each other, whether they are positively related, negatively related, or they are neutral. But when we talk about machine learning, we are going to train the model in such a way that it can able to learn by its experience. So business analytics is a combination of visualizations, exploratory analytics. So why it is exploratory analytics? First, we have to visualize the data. Then only I can able to give, or I can able to gain some kind of insights about our business. Okay, and statistical modeling as well as machine learning, these two going hand in hand. To be frank with you, machine learning also going to face a problem because we have to work with terabytes of data each and every day. Machine learning, it may become stagnant at one point of time. Let me repeat one more time. Machine learning, okay, if I'm applying the machine learning algorithm, it may become stagnant. The performance may become stagnant. It won't improve much. So in that point of in that kind of aspects, we have to use deep learning. So the deep learning is nothing but usage of artificial neural networks. Usage of artificial neural networks so that we can analyze the huge data set. So for your understanding, huge data set, you can visualize data is having more than 1 terabyte. Data set is having more than 1 terabyte. You can visualize how big it is, right? So for loading and all, of course, it may take time. That's why we are going to prefer the system with great capability. Machine learning, there I have to include one more thing called it is a deep learning. Okay, so because to avoid that kind of stagnant issue, okay, we have to use deep learning. But deep learning also going to face some problem. What is that one? It's going to face vanishing gradient as well as exploding gradient. Okay, I don't want to talk. I don't want to give much complicated things for you. Let me bring it very simple. So you can use machine learning as well as deep learning approach so that you can able to gain the business insight. And finally, what you have to do after gaining the business insight, what you have to do, you have to recommend something. It has to be done. It has to be changed, right? And you have to implement that particular business action. That is what exactly you're going to do in business analytics. I'm hoping that I clear with this kind of concept, right? What exactly you're going to do. Then what about business intelligence? What exactly we'll do? So there we'll talk about the past data. So what was happened? Okay. So why we have reached this position? That's it. And finally, we will give some kind of a recommendation saying that there is a chance to improve. So we can do that one. But here we are not going to predict the future. Here in business intelligence, we never talk about predicting the future. But in business analytics, we talk about how the business may going to run in a future. Okay, so data science here we'll talk more about business analytics. Along with that one, obtaining the data. Along with that one, it talks about obtaining the data, like how we can able to gain integrated data sources, build data pipelines, how we can able to process that particular data so that we can able to use that one for our business analysis. So all these things covers up data science. So that's why I told you that it's a combination of what data as well as business insights. So that in that particular aspects, we can find different terminologies. So moving further, so stages of business analytics. Here you can find descriptive analytics, exploratory analytics. So let me give the brief explanation for all these things quickly. Descriptive, I think everybody knows about this thing. Descriptive, it talks about what happened previously. Exploratory, what is going on right now. Explanatory, what did happen. Okay. Predictive talks about what is going to happen in the future. Prescriptive, what we have to do the changes right now so that you can take the advantage in the future. Experimental, how well it will work. Okay, so combination of all these things, business analytics came to exist. Okay, so these are the analytics capabilities like descriptive, diagnostic, predictive analytics as well as prescriptive analytics. So in this way, we can able to carry out the things. Insight, foresight like this. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm getting some call.
No, sir.
No, I'm getting one call here. Yeah, yeah. Let me go ahead. Just give me a second. I will, for timing, I would like to show you something about the Veka tool. Okay, just to analyze the things for you, how exactly we can do. Let me check your visualization. How exactly you can able to visualize the things. Yeah. So may I get the answer from the student side or from the participants? How many times does the digit 7 appears here? How many times digit
Checking, sir.
7? How many times?
We are checking, sir. 1 second. Give us 2
I
minutes.
will give 20 seconds. Time starts now. So participants, they can put their answers in the chat window. Just check how many times this 7 letter appears.
$15 lines, sir.
15, sir.
Okay.
17.
Okay. We're getting some varied answers. We're getting
17,
we're getting 22, we're getting 17. Okay. So is there any purpose behind asking this question? Now, let me give the same thing in a different way. Now, is it possible for you to count?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Which one is better one?
ഞാനത് മറന്നു പക്ഷെ ഞാനത്
Okay. May I get some answers?
17, sir.
17, right? Which one is better one? Previous one or this one?
This one.
one, sir.
What is the reason?
This
Highlighted 7.
Okay. Now, let me give some other different structure. Now, I just made it bold. Would you able to visualize now?
Yes, sir.
Now, it becomes
Yes,
easy
sir.
for you to gain the things, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, so what exactly I have done? Initially, it is in the same color. Now, I made it little different color, little bold, underlined with bold. Okay. So what exactly I want to showcase here is how exactly the visualizations can be done here. Right. Now you can see there is a slight change in the color, slight change in the size, orientation, in texture. So we can highlight few things, what went wrong, what can be improved in the future. So all those things cover ups, especially in business analytics. Okay. Okay. I will come back to this particular slides once again. Okay. Let me demonstrate something about Veka tool because we undergone something about how exactly the business analytics can be done. Right. We have observed descriptive, we have observed diagnostic, we observed predictive, so on and so forth. Right. Let me introduce one tool that is nothing but Veka. Okay. So anybody can use it. There is nothing much more to it required expertization. It's a simple tool. Hoping that this particular screen is visible to everyone. Veka, right? So Veka GUI chooser. I'm hoping that it is visible to everyone, right? May I get the response?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this was this is the tool generated by one university. So that university name is Waikato Environment Knowledge Analysis, the University of Waikato, New Zealand. So this bird name is Veka. This bird name is Veka. Usually it going to appear in New Zealand. Okay, so that's why they gave this particular name called Veka for this particular tool. But actually VEK, so it stands for Waikato Environment for Knowledge Analysis. Okay, for knowledge analysis. Earlier we used to say it is nothing but data mining tool for machine learning. Okay, nowadays so it's going to called as it's a GUI chooser for machine learning. So what exactly we can do here? We can analyze the data, even we can able to predict what is going to happen in the future based on the data set. Let me showcase some of the data set for you. This is a simple data set. I think it is visible to everyone, right? So right now we are using weather data set. We are using weather data set. So what is the meaning of this weather data set? Just we can visualize based on certain conditions. You have to decide whether today we can able to play match or not. Whether we can able to play a match or not. So this is called just a classification example, right? We have to classify whether we can able to play it, yes or no. We have to say it like that. Okay. So for this particular decision making, we require certain attributes. Which are those? It may be an outlook, it may be a temperature, it may be a humidity, it may be a wind. If the wind is blowing very, it is very, it's blowing like a flood, okay, then we can't able to play it, okay. Like this, we have to consider the outlook also. It may be a overcast condition, rainy, or it may be a sunny condition, okay. So based on this thing, okay, we have set of data here. For time limitation, I have used very few data set here, and this data set, it is in terms of ARFF format. ARFF stands for attribute relation file format. I repeat, attribute relation file format. Okay, so here you can able to see that attributes have been put it in one particular sector, like that data has been put it in another sector. So here comes the concept, like once we are going to use something like the first instance of data is like this. Outlook is sunny, and temperature, it is in terms of Fahrenheit 85, humidity is 85, okay, and wind is, there is no wind, then the play condition, it says no. That means we can't play it. So there are some condition, it says that yes, we can able to play it. So what is the exact meaning of this thing? Just an hypothetical data, that's it. Okay, based on the certain attributes, we can able to classify. So let me use this data for the purpose of analyzing. Okay, how exactly we can able to do the analysis using this particular Veka tool. So what I will do now, let me close this one. Let me choose the new one. Just go for Explorer. As soon as you're going to click that particular Explorer, it will ask you to load the data set. So you will get something like this. I think I have pressed twice here. Let me take the only one. Yeah. As soon as I pressed anything called Explorer, it will ask us to load the data set. So go for open file. My data set is available in my drive, I think. Just give me a second. So let me load the data set. I will use this data set, what I've shown to you. Okay, as soon as I load that one, you can able to see the visualization is going to happen automatically. I request everyone to please observe the screen carefully. We are having certain attributes. Which are those? Outlook we are having temperature, humidity, wind, and play. And the beauty of this particular, Veka tool is that it can able to perform descriptive analytics by its own. Let me tell you how. Humidity, it says minimum is this much, maximum is this much. This is the mean. This is the standard deviation. So manually we can't do. We are not putting our lot of effort here. Okay, we loaded the data. This Veka will going to perform exploratory analysis along with the descriptive statistics. Okay, then so how we can able to go for predictive analytics? It's a very simple thing. Okay, I will demonstrate that one. Don't worry. So till now, what I have done, I open up that particular Veka tool. Sir, you may going to ask this question, sir, how we can able to use that particular Veka? So it is open source. Download it, and to run this particular Veka, you require the Java version. Okay, if it is there, definitely you can able to run it. Okay, and it will ask for you to upload the data set. For your understanding, let me use this one. You can use either ARFF format or even you can use CSV format. I prefer to go for CSV. I will demonstrate that one also because it prefer to go for ARFF format, but it is very difficult for us to put everything in terms of ARFF format. So that's why they come up with other thing like you can use either CSV or even can use Excel file also. Okay, CSV stands for comma separator file. So don't worry, I'll demonstrate that one also. Let me finish off this thing quickly. As soon as you're going to load this particular data set, you can able to find there are some kind of descriptive statistics. All these things come into picture. So once you are done, you have to choose the algorithm to perform certain operations, right? So which are the operations? As I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping that you have understood the basic comparisons of the different analytics, business intelligence, business analytics like that. There we started with what? Visualizations, dashboards, and finally there we have to talk about the statistics as well as machine learning tool, right? Okay, how exactly we can able to perform here? So go for classify. As soon as you click this particular classify tab, you can able to choose different algorithms that are available here. For timing, let me use logistic. Let me use and as soon as you can place your cursor over there, it will give the description of those particular algorithms, what it can able to do. To be frank with you, you can use either linear regression or logistic regression, but there is a catch. You can't directly apply the linear as well as logistic regression directly. If you want to use linear regression, data should be continuous. Data should be continuous. If you are applying logistic regression, then it is better to use logistic regression for the categorical data. I repeat, if the data is continuous, what do you mean by the term continuous? Suppose if I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, will you say it is a continuous data?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it seems like continuous, but I request everyone to observe carefully. Between 1 and 2, there is a chance for us to get 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 also. So age is one of the example. Age is one of the example. Either you have to say 1 year or 2 year, 3 year. In between that one, there is a chances that either you have to say 1 year, 1 month, 2 year, 2 months, 1 year, 2 months, something like that, right? So this kind of data we'll use, it is nothing but a continuous data. I repeat one more time, those who have got confused. Between 1 and 2, there is a chance to appear like the decimal numbers also, like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.3, so on and so forth. The height of a person, the weight of the person, there is a chance that it is not necessary to obtaining the whole numbers, not necessary to obtain the integer numbers. There is a chance for us to get the decimal numbers also, right? So for those kind of data, we can able to apply linear regression. Y is equal to mx plus c. But there is a chance that categorical data, who will going to win the match? Either yes or no. Either you have to say either yes or no. If you're going to say that probability 50%, probability 60%, then I have to put somewhere. Okay, in between I can't tell anything. Okay, so because in the predictions, if I going to say that no, in between you're going to fall on, then that may not be a perfect predictions. Okay, so what exactly I mean to say here is you can use logistic regression only when if we're having categorical data. Categorical data in sense either you have to say yes or you have to say no. In between there is no other choice. So that's why in logistic regression, what you're going to use, you're going to make use of the probability. If anything comes anything more than 0.5 or anything comes greater than threshold, anything comes greater than the threshold, then we can able to classify that one towards one certain category. Okay, let me use that logistic regression here. What is the formula to use that logistic regression? It's a very simple thing. E to the power of x divided by 1 plus e to the power of x. I don't want to make it very complicated. Okay, so just you can click this logistic regression, and here comes the terms called cross validation. So what do you mean by this cross validation? Let me assume that I'm having 100 data set. Let me assume that I'm having 100 data set. For training purpose, I may not going to use all 100 data set. What I will do, I will use either 80% of that particular data for training, and remaining 20% I will use that one for testing purpose, so that I can able to before giving any kind of a model, I should tell that this model going to perform well, right? So that terminology will use cross validation. Before submitting anything, you must have some kind of confidence level, right? So yes, we can able to do something special here. So how exactly we can able to achieve that one? This cross validation will help us. So right now by default it is taking 10. You can change it. It means 10 means 9 out of 100, 90 it will take for training, 10 it will use for testing. Okay, so that is nothing but cross validation. If you want to give in terms of percentage split, there is a chance for you to give that particular percentage split also. For time being, I'm using cross validation, so nothing much difference here. So now out of 100, 90 instance will go for training, 10 will go for testing. So that it can able to tell you that this is what exactly the logistic regression can able to do. Okay, so once you're done with that one, so just you can click start. It can give the entire result. This is the confusion matrix, and here comes the result. Okay, if you are thorough in the statistics, definitely you can able to learn what is the exact meaning of ROC area and so on and so forth. Okay, right now I'm very much interested in learning predictive analytics. I wanted to showcase that one. Okay, so don't worry about this confusion matrix and all. Definitely if Sims provide the opportunity for me to talk about more on that machine learning as well as deep learning concept, I will take up that particular confusion matrix in detail. Okay, for timing, let me concentrate on the predictive analytics. Okay, so what do you mean by predictive analytics? Now, for timing, what exactly I have done? I have trained my model. So here comes the model name, function logistic. Okay, this is the model I created. What it will do? It can able to classify. It can able to classify the instance either yes or no. Either it can able to classify yes as well as no. Okay, now let me give another data set of the same kind. Let me showcase that one also to you, how exactly it will going to look. Now I'm using Notepad so that it becomes easy for you to understand. Okay, now I will give one more instance. This is a new instance I'm supplying, and for this particular output I'm saying question mark. I don't know for with this instance what is the playing condition, whether we can able to play it, either there is a condition for us to play or not to play. So now I will add this question to my model. My model has to answer this question. I'm hoping that students, if they can able to visualize what exactly it is happening here, right? Initially we trained with the actual data set. Now I'm testing that one. I'm testing that particular model so that now I can able to identify this instance, whether it is playable or not playable. Okay, let me load this one, and we can able to verify the result. Okay, so where is my Vector tool? Here comes. Yeah. Now what I will do, I will give the testing set. Now I have to test that particular model, right? The model what we created. So how exactly we can do? Go for supplied test set, click set here, and so there is a pop-up. It will give us something like you have to load your testing data. So my testing data is available in this file 2.irff. Let me load that file. Okay, and say yes, my data set is loaded here, and in the more options, I will give something like I want the result in terms of plain text. So there is a plenty of option for you. Either you can choose HTML or XML depending upon your priority. You can choose that one. For time being, I will use plain text so that my result will going to appear in terms of plain text. I don't want to give any kind of no glimpse of that particular output. Okay. So I want the result in plain text format. Okay. Now everything was set. Just you have to say start. Now you can able to see here comes the actual as well as the predicted result. So for first two instance, I have given question mark. I'm hoping that students they can able to visualize that one, right? Here comes first two data set I given question mark. For these two data set, my model gives some kind of a predictions saying that this is no. Second instance say it is also no, and it gives the prediction probability. So how much it is confident enough? 0.98% it is confident that we can't play it. 0.56% it's percentage wise we can't say 0.6, it is 56%. 56% is confident that we can't able to play a match on the particular attribute circumstances. So in this way we can able to perform the predictive analytics. So I don't want to touch anything like theoretical concept. Okay, so I given the theory because so that they can have one kind of knowledge on how exactly the business analytics is going to work. And one of the beauty part of this particular business analytics is that the term analytics is suitable for any kind of domain. You can choose marketing analytics comes into picture, choose HR analytics come into picture, finance analytics come into picture. Only thing here is where exactly you are applying this analytics, it becomes a particular analytics. Okay, so it's all depends upon the which data you are using, which data set you are using. Okay, like this we can able to use Veka data set, or we can able to use data set in Veka. Okay, now another example quickly. So we can use CSV file. I just mentioned that we can use CSV file. What is that CSV? It stands for comma separator file. Let me close this one for time being. Yeah, let me use this another data set. It's a little bit greater data compared to the previous one. So one of the drawback of this particular Veka tool is that if number of data set is increasing, then so we can't use Veka dataset or dataset in Veka. It may become stuck in between the performance of the building up the models. So that's why we prefer to go for Python programming language to perform any kind of machine learning as well as deep learning operations. I will demonstrate that one also to you, how to use Python for especially for machine learning as well as deep learning. Okay, so this is the data set. I just wanted to highlight it is in terms of CSV. What do you mean by CSV? It is a comma separator file. I mean to say, so we can able to find differentiation between first column to second column to third column. So there is a differentiation. So that is called as comma separator file. So once we are having this particular data set, you can able to see. So based on this parameter, we are going to say whether it is going to rain tomorrow or there is no rain tomorrow. We are trying to predict. So we can able to predict the student result also. So whether based on the student past performance, what is the result we may expect in the future exam, or the exams that are going to upcoming in next month or couple of months later. And like that, you can able to predict election result. Okay, but for all these things, we required a model to be perfect enough. We are all trying to prepare that particular accurate model. So that is the challenge what we are having in business analytics. Let me use this particular data set so that we can have one kind of knowledge on how we can use CSV or comma separator file in Veka. So let me use the same Veka tool. I will go for Explorer. So let me choose the file. So it is there in my folder, right? Yeah, let me select that one. Here comes FTP SIMS. Yeah, right now here I will choose from ARFF to CSV file. Like this, there are many different formats are available. I think being management students, you can able to visualize the CSV file as well as ARFF file. That's why I'm highlighting only these two. So I'm going to choose CSV file. I will use this weather data set, that what I just demonstrated to you. Okay, as soon as I loaded that one, as usual, visualizations come into picture. All the descriptive statistics may appear here, so you can able to think what is the sunshine. So yeah, so we can able to check for this particular wind gesture. What is the meaning of that one? Okay, and for all these things, we can able to find the descriptive analytics. Okay, and no need to do any kind of manual work. Okay, and go for classify, go for choosing of the functions, anything like this. Okay, so let me use some functions which are you feel comfortable, you can choose that one. Let me use Navy based classifier, multinomial test. Okay, and I will use start, and here comes this is the accuracy, I mean this is the confusion matrix, and it says that 81% accuracy you can able to expect, and 18% there is a chance of inaccurate predictions may going to occur for this particular weather data set. And let me use let me check, okay, how exactly we can able to get the result here. I have to give the input for testing data, right? Let me showcase the test data also to you. So this is my testing data. So purposefully I just made it as question mark because I will give this as the testing data for my model what we just created, and now it has to give the result. Okay, that result, it has to say whether it's going to rain tomorrow or there is no rain tomorrow. Okay, let me feed this particular data set to my Weka. So how exactly I can able to do that one? Go for supply data set. Here I'll browse that file. It is CSV file. I will open up that one. So once I do, here I have to check the options. I want answers in terms of plain text. Let me close here and go for start. Yeah. So as soon as I done that one, here comes, because we're having some little bit, yeah, for these two actual classification question mark, it's going to say that 81% it is confident that for the first instance there is no rain tomorrow. 81% it may be confident that there is no rain tomorrow. So like this, it is going to prediction. It's going to predict. Okay, this is the beauty of using the Weka and all. Okay, let me jump on to the other tool. It is very interesting one. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah. This is the Google Colab. So here I will just demonstrate that how to perform sentiment analysis. I think many of you are very much curious about to know about sentiment analysis and all, right? So let me talk about the particular sentiment analysis here, and I will just give very simple code so that any layman can able to perform sentiment analysis. Okay, if they know the basic concept. Let me take the new one so that I can able to explain that to you. What is the Colab and like that. For 5 minutes, I will demonstrate this Colab, and later on I will jump on to that particular sentiment analysis. Let me wait for this thing. Yeah, to use Python. Why we are using Python program? Yes, first thing is it is open source. First thing is that it is open source. Second thing is that it is having plenty of methods or the APIs. API stands for application program interfaces. For your understanding, you can say like this. Just by calling any functions, you can able to complete the task. Like I think you're all familiar with regression. We are familiar with linear regression, logistic regression, so on and so forth, right? For each and every data, if you want to do manually, then it is a time consuming. Am I right? Suppose but just by invoking anything, by invoking the function, invoking some that method API, okay, it can able to do the task on behalf of us in a fraction of a second, then it almost completed our task in a very short span of time. Means we may feel very happy enough. So that APIs are available in our Python. Yes, of course, same operation what we can able to perform in Python can able to do that one in R also, R programming language also. Okay, but R is open source, of course, but R is having certain limitations. The limitation here is that so the API may not, that may going to fit properly there. So that's why you're going to prefer for using Python programming language to perform machine learning as well as deep learning application. To run that particular Python application or Python program, you required Anaconda framework. Or if you are having any kind of infrastructure problem like that, then I may suggest you go for Google Colab. Colab stands for collaboratory. That means anybody can able to write the program and they can share among other researchers. So this feature is enabled by Google and it is a cloud-based application. Okay, here you can able to use that particular Colab. Okay. Sir, how to learn about the programming language and all? So we don't know anything about the programming language, then how to learn? So for these kind of people only, Python programming language emerges. Okay, so syntax are very simple. Okay, if you know natural language, English language talking, okay, so Python language becomes very easy for you to understand. Okay, suppose if you want to write the very first program, what you can do here. So let me print something here. Okay, let me print the very first program, like say hello world here. If I'm going to do something like this, hello world. So you have to type only this much, okay, and just press shift enter. We're going to give the task for us, okay, and it requires to run any kind of applications, to run any kind of programming language. You require minimum infrastructure. What do you mean by infrastructure? You required RAM, you required disk space, okay. So this Google Colab, it provide you that cloud-based infrastructure. So you can able to see that one. Let me roll the mouse here. You can able to see that one. Even though you don't have, even though you're having RAM in your local machine, it won't use that local RAM. It will make use of the RAM available in the cloud. It can able to provide you up to 12 GB. You can able to, the Google Colab can able to provide up to 12 GB of RAM, and the disk space is around 64 GB. So 64 GB, you can able to extend that to 120 GB also, and it is available for free of cost. You can visualize. Somebody can able to provide you 12 GB of RAM free of cost, 64 GB of RAM, 64 GB of disk space free of cost. Then you can able to do wonders, right? But for processing of deep learning and all, even this particular RAM speed, even though the particular disk space may not sufficient for us, we require a little bit more. Okay, so in that kind of aspects, you have to purchase that one from the Google Cloud. Okay, the feature is also available, and they won't charge much. I think it is all these things are affordable, but by default they will provide you 12 GB of RAM speed. Okay, so with this basic introduction, let me go for something about sentiment analysis. Okay, so I will make use of very simple sentence like this. I just prepared one simple sentence. The sentence is like this: the Sims are the best. I'm just feeling that you want to call the Seshadripuram Institute of Management Systems. Oh, sorry, Seshadripuram Management Sims are. So there may be some kind of terminology you may going to use, right? That's why I thought that let me use that same name, SIMS. You can use any kind of sentence here that may be available in e-commerce or in other kind of junction for the product review. I think for e-commerce site like Amazon, Flipkart, for each and every product, before purchasing, always you're going to look for some review, right? If the review is good, then you obviously going to opt that particular, or you're going to go for that particular product. If the review is not good, you won't go for that particular product. In the same way, think like a CEO of the company. If I want to know what is the customer preference for my product, and I want to analyze all their comments, all their reviews, what best we can able to do, then it is better to go for sentiment analysis. Okay, how exactly we can able to do that one? I will just demonstrate for only one sentence. Okay, and rest of the things I will give that as assignment for you. Okay, how exactly you can do? Very simple thing. Just use the product here. Just use the product like this. The names are the best. So once you have done, then you can call this particular function called text blob. Then you can call this particular function called text blob. Okay, and finally you can able to print the analysis. Okay, so let me do that one so that you'll also come to know what exactly we are going to do there. It is throwing some error because text blob is not available. Okay, let me go through one more time, because it requires that API. I have to import that particular API. Once I have done, let me once again rerun that one. Yeah, here comes. So what is the output we are getting here? Is very simple thing. The sentiment of this particular sentence, it says polarity 1. So what do you mean by the polarity? The polarity can come in 3 different ways. The first one is either positive or negative, or it may be neutral. I repeat, the polarity may come in 3 different ways. One is positive, negative, another one is neutral. What do you mean by positive? If the sentence or sentiment is positive enough, we can able to get it is a positive, or we can able to tell it is a positive sentence or the positive review. If it is negative review, yeah, we can able to tell it is a negative. Neutral, so there is no such kind of partiality among the differentiation with respect to the analysis. So if the polarity is 1, it means the sentence is, it is more of positive. Then subjectivity 0.3. What do you mean by subjectivity as well as objectivity? Especially in sentiment analysis. Objectivity talk about the fact. Subjectivity talk about the feelings or the views. Fact may be different, views may be different. Try to understand. Don't compare, don't try to put these two in a single basket. Objectivity talks about the fact. It may be good, really it is good. Okay, but for me, I'm using that particular product. For me, it may not be good. That means it's my view. It may not be the fact. It's my view. Okay, so in that sense, subjectivity plays a very, very vital role. Okay, so now you can able to visualize. Just have written 3 lines of code here. The first thing what I have done, I just included that particular sentence in one variable, and I called one text blob API or the method available in my Python, and I just gone for looking for the sentiment analysis. Okay, and the answer says something like this. The sentence what you have given, it is polarity is 1. It is a positive sentence, and subjectivity says it's just a view. 30% it is confident that it's a view. It may not be the fact. Okay, so like this, you can able to perform sentiment analysis. Okay, so if you want to use the different sentence, of course, you can use that one. Let me demonstrate one more thing. In the real world practice, we are all getting plenty of commands for every product. Excellent is always better compared to good. In these 2 categories, which one I have to consider, okay, as a better one? As of course, I know that excellent is better than good. Okay, then this polarity may not going to talk that kind of sense of valence differentiation. So in that kind of scenario, you have to use some other different API. It is nothing but sentiment intensity analyzer you can use. So just by using that one, you can talk about having the valence. The valence is nothing but negative term, neutral term, positive terms, and the compounding. It will give the average of these 3. How many negative terms are there? How many negative words are there in that particular sentence? How many neutral words are there? How many positive words are there? And obtaining all this average, that is nothing but the compounding. That is also you can able to do in your sentiment analysis. So as of now, just recall, till now what we have done. We understood the basic concepts of business analytics, comparisons of different business analytics. We learn about how the visualizations can be happened, and we just move towards the model preparation in Veka, as well as we gone for predictions. And just now, we introduced the concept of sentiment analysis. Now moving further, Okay. This is a recent days. Many people will going to use this term. Machine is capable enough. It can compose a song. Machine is so capable. It can able to give music for the any lyrics. How it is possible, right? I will demonstrate that one to you, but in a different way. Okay, because limitation of time, I can able to demonstrate only for the string or the sentence. Sir, can I become a novelist? Can I become a good orator? So for all these things, yes, the answer is yes. Why? So if you're going to train the model, so in this way you can able to write a sentence. In this way, you can able to complete the entire book based on the certain topic. So you have to train that particular model. How exactly we can able to do that one? So let me introduce the deep learning to you. Deep learning, it is nothing but the concept of artificial neural network. Okay, that neural network will help us in making out of this kind of things, like we can able to complete the sentence, we can write a novel, we can compose a song, so on and so forth. Having said that, it is very important to visualize that as well as implement that particular deep learning concept. Let me use that particular deep learning concept just to complete the sentence. Just to complete the sentence, I will just demonstrate that one to you. For time being, consider this sentence. Who are you? I'm giving who are you? Okay. And I'll give an instruction to my machine or the model what I created. Here I will say, for this sentence, create 10 sequence. Create 10 sequence. Or in other words, create the 10 sentence, different sentence. And the maximum length for that particular sentence should be 5. I repeat, you can give any sentence, okay? For timing, for your demonstrating, I'm using this one. So once you have done with that one, then once you are done with that one, here I will say, create the sequence of this sentence. Okay. Here I given 10, right? Like that, you can able to go for 15, 20, 25, depending upon your requirement. And the maximum length, here I'm setting that as 5. Okay. So create 10 sequence, maximum length is 5, and give me the output. So as soon as I run that particular function, or in other words, that program, so I can able to find 10 different sequence here. Generated text. Generated by whom? Generated by machine only. Okay. So depending on this particular generated text, you can use it in your oration of any kind of novel or comments, so on and so forth. Earlier we used to tell products are going to be given by the person or the people, but there is a chance that comments can be generated by machines also nowadays. Okay, so that's why sentiment analysis, it has to be done very carefully. So it is just a demonstration. I just want to demonstrate you that how exactly you can make use of deep learning concept for the purpose of sentence generation. Okay, I will come back to this particular deep learning. Okay, let me give something about Microsoft Cognitive Services. So I'm shifting from Weka towards Google Colab. Now I'm touching Microsoft Cognitive Services. And this once again for MBA students, this cognitive services is very interesting. Let me give one simple example here. As I told you, data can be appeared in any mix, any numbers. It may be number, it may be string, it may be audio, it may be video, it may be image, so on and so forth. Okay. So what exactly I'm trying to do here is just making use of Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services to check whether these two persons are similar or they are different. So this is the driving license. Okay. And here comes the person, actual person. Okay, so there is a surveillance camera is available. We can capture that particular footage. Okay, from there it has to extract the face and that face has to be get matched with the image that is available in the DL. Okay, if these two get matched, then it will tell yes, these are one and the same. And just use the Microsoft Cognitive Services, and here I got something about the confidence. 83% it is confident. Machine is confident that these two are similar. You can visualize that, how vendors are working on, especially on this particular analytical concept. So they're not only they're concentrating on natural language processing, even they are concentrating more on visualizations with respect to the image, audio, as well as video. Deep learning is one such kind of concepts where even you can able to create the deep fake videos. Yes, it is possible. Okay, but interest of time, I could not able to demonstrate all thing. Okay, but yes, of course, even it is possible. Okay, once I use the term, the next question comes here is, so what about the data privacy and all? Yes, of course, there is a huge challenge what we are having here. Okay, it has to be addressed in a well-defined manner. Okay, so coming back to this particular, Microsoft Cognitive Services, let me use computer visions. Yeah, here comes. Just know the random picture it was taken, and now we have to identify. Here we have to identify the different tags, like what we can able to find in this particular image. We can able to find something like we can able to find train. We can able to find there is a person, right? And yeah, we can able to find the person another time. Okay, what I mean to say here is even though the picture quality is too less, this cognitive services, Microsoft Cognitive Services, it's so intelligent enough. It can able to put the frame on the identified object. Okay, so the result is in front of you. Result is in front of you. Okay, so here comes the tags. It says that I can able to find now. So result says like something like this. Let me go through that particular result first. So these are some of the rectangle, objects. I mean, objects which has been identified. For that one, it has put a rectangle, and the object is saying that it is person, and the confidence level is 76%. And the second rectangle, it is also going to say that we are going to find it's a person, and the confidence is 62%. And you can able to find in the subway, it is a train, so on and so forth. Okay, and what exactly I mean to say here is, if I'm going to change the image, okay, so let me change that to different image. When it is possible to identify what is the exact frame or the objects that are going to appear over there. Okay, so just for your understanding purpose, I'm using very simple one. I don't want to put this one in a very complicated way. So we can able to find out two different objects. One is person, another one is skateboard. I'm hoping that you can able to visualize all these things, right? And it is also very much confident. 90% it is saying that it is a skateboard, and it is very much confident to say 95% it is a person. So like this, Microsoft Cognitive Services, they are using Vision APIs, Vision Application Program Interface. So using this one also, you can able to perform the task. So these are some of the examples, I just want to demonstrate for Microsoft Cognitive Services. Let me come back to my deep learning, because this is my favorite topic always. Yeah. So once we are done with that sentence generation, let me demonstrate that one, something like, is it possible for us to fill something for the in the school days and all, we always come across this kind of thing, like we have to fill up the blanks, right? For right filling, we will get 1 marks. Okay, let me ask this question to my machine. Here comes the sentence. Here comes the sentence, and I will ask my model, trained model, okay, to fill this sentence or this word, so that it can able to become one complete sentence. I'm hoping that students could able to recall the things. what we have studied till now. We come across natural language processing. We come across processing of the strings, processing of the text. Okay. Now, once again, we are in the natural language processing only. Now we are asking our machine to fill up the blanks. Okay, for the given sentence. So once we're done with, here comes. So it requires the trained model. Let me tell you why we require the deep learning. As I mentioned earlier, the machine learning, to some extent, it will give the accurate result. But once we are start feeding with lot of data for the training only, then the performance may become stagnant. It is going to quite common with a human being also, right? Like for within 1 hour, if you want to say that you have to finish a 4 books or 5 books, is it possible? Yes, you can do, but performance-wise, you may not able to justify the things. So in the same way, machine learning also going to face the same problem. That's why we just move towards deep learning. So there we are using artificial intelligence, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so that artificial neural network. Okay, so that artificial neural network may help us in doing of the task what exactly human beings are doing, but in a more effective as well as in a more faster way. So these are the concepts which has been dealt in deep learning, but deep learning also faces certain issues like vanishing gradient. Okay, while providing the exact performance, we can't able to set the weights properly. So in that kind of aspects, it is better to use trained models. Right now, I'm demonstrating that advanced version of trained models to you. Okay, so don't worry about the programming and all. It's very simple. Okay, you have to recall or you have to invoke the particular API. So here the API what I'm using here is Robota base. Okay, this is the API I'm using. Using this particular model, I'm just trying to fill this particular sentence. Okay, that means this is the mask word. Okay, I wanted to fill that particular word over there so that the sentence may become valid. So this is some of the recommendations given by our model. It's a male model, female model, professional model, something like that. Okay, depending upon your choice, you can fill up that one. So purposely I have given 5 different sequences so that user can able to choose according to their interest. Moving further, let me use yeah, I think I don't want to put you under much more trouble. Okay, let me use simple one here. Okay, for time being, yeah, let me use this sentence, very simple sentence. Which one I can use? Yeah, let me give the very simple sentence for you. Yeah, here comes. Let me use this simple sentence. Health is not good. Now I have to classify for which domain this sentence belongs to. Health is not good. Okay, whether it is belongs to the English literature, public health, or it is belongs to politics. I given certain categories. Okay, now for the trained models, I'm assigning one task for this sentence. Choose the best fit for the category wise in terms of the category what we have mentioned, whether it is English, public health, or it's a politics. So just you can press Shift Enter. I want to do the task for us in the Python. That is what we have learned till now. Here you can say that 58% it is saying that it is belongs to public health. This sentence is belongs to public health. Like this, 33% is belongs to English literature. Like this, only 7% it is belongs to politics. So that means we can able to process even the natural language, okay, in a more advanced level. Okay, when we can able to pick the text, we can generate the text. We may become author for a book. Okay, even we may become composer. Okay, but of course the accuracy matters a lot. Still, the research is going on. about the model preparation and so on and so forth, so that you can have a well-defined model. It can able to replace the human being. Okay, of course, it is a debatable topic. Okay, but research work is going on because the topic for today is trends in business analytics. Okay, so that's why I thought that these are the things I will demonstrated. Okay, for our students I used to tell all these things, deep learning, machine learning concepts. I thought that let me share my view on this thing to you. Okay, that's why I'm demonstrating this one. Let me give the more advanced topic. Okay, it is about image recognition. Image recognition as well as identification. Yes, we have done in Microsoft this one, Google services. Microsoft cognitive services. Okay, let me use the same thing in my Python programming using some of the trained models, MobileNet as well as MobileNet P2. Don't worry about the program. Okay, just concentrate on the things what exactly I'm demonstrating right now. I just given one image. Okay, this is a dog image. Everyone knows that it is a dog image, but my computer is very dumb. It can't identify who is there. Okay, so that you have to train that particular machine. So I'm just using the trained model so that it can able to identify what kind of image it is. What kind of image it is. Okay, so here comes some of the examples. As soon as I feeded this particular image, okay, my machine start giving some results for me. What is that one? It is not only going to say it is a dog, even it is going to talk about the breed of that particular dog. It is a Labrador. 72% is very much confident that this particular image belongs to this category. It is not only a dog. Okay, even it will talk about the breed of that particular image. Okay, so like this, there is one concept called ImageNet. Okay, there is every year there is a competition, so where the researchers like you all join together, and they will demonstrate their own model. Even Google also going to participate. Microsoft also going to participate for there. Okay, just to validate how good they are with respect to their model. Okay, so even students like you, even you can join over there. There is a Kaggle competition. Okay, you can take up that particular challenge, and if you're going to solve their puzzles, definitely there is a huge opportunity for you to fly like anything. Okay, so there is a Kaggle opportunity, Kaggle challenge. I just request all the participants, if you are interested, take up that particular challenge. It's very simple thing. They give the data and they will ask you to prepare certain model. Okay, once you can able to do that one, definitely you can do it can definitely you can do wonders over there. Okay, I'm hoping that this particular thing is very clear to you. So what exactly the concept of image processing in Python programming can do? As soon as I created that particular dog image, it can able to tell so what kind of image is all about. Okay, not only that particular object recognition, it will talk about the breed of that particular dog. Identifying the person is different. Recognizing the who is that person is different. Okay, so all the things is possible, especially if you are thorough in business analytics. Okay, now the question comes here. Research. Right now we talked about the analytics. Then what about the business? Okay, so let me move on to my presentation slides. There I will talk about business angles. Okay, let me ask this question. Any doubt do you have right now with respect to the demonstration what I've done till now? If not, I will just switch on to my presentation or old presentation. So there I will talk 10 to 15 minutes for business aspect. Is it fine, students? I mean, all the participants. Okay, so let me quickly jump onto there. Yeah. Just give me a second. Let me maximize it further. Now the question comes, sir, you just shown different analytics for us, right? Then where is the business, sir? Because we are students from business background, right? So tell us the business. Yeah, analytics stands in 3 different pillars. Okay, basement is of course data. So if people may use this data for the analytic purpose, we require process so that we can process this data. Of course, technology, nevertheless, we have to apply this data. We have to apply this technology for data so that we can gain the business insights. So what is the business insights here? The benefits comes for integrity, the truth of your data. Quality is the data of a superior nature. Okay. It will, once you are thorough in the analytical concepts, it may help you in identifying the completeness. Okay. So where exactly we are lagging. Okay. What we can able to do now so that we can able to change our future. So there is a famous saying, we can't change the past, but we can change the future. You can't change the past. Yes, there is a chance for if you do some kind of changes now, definitely we can able to change the future according to our result, according to our desired result. Right. So how exactly we can able to accomplish that one? Okay. Just give me a second. I wanted to show you some other one simple image. I think I forgot to tell you. Yeah. The concept of business intelligence. Here also we're going to make use of data. Okay. We're going to take now information, you can take knowledge, and what exactly we'll do here at last, we're going to plan to guide actions or key decisions. So once you're going to analyze the data based on this one, we have to go ahead with the proper decisions. Infosys founder Narayan Murthy, he always says one thing: for their every decision, it is backed up by their data. I repeat, their each and every decision, it is backed up by the data. Without the data, they can't think of making up the decision. So if you want the truth, bring the facts on the table. This analytics will bring the facts on your table. Think like a CEO, think like an entrepreneur. Okay. So what best I can able to do so that I can able to change the future. It is not only in terms of business aspects, it's about changing the society. So you can able to find that there is a different problems are there. Here that problem is there, this problem is there. Instead of talking more about that particular problem, talk about the solutions. If each and every one of you talk about the solutions, definitely we may become the problem free, or we may create problem free society. Okay. Same thing is applicable for business also. In your business, each and every day, if you have to deal with the client, you have to deal with our data. There's plenty of data are available. So using all these things, what good decisions we can able to take, so that today if we are the millennial, or to move that to the billionaire point. If we are billionaire today, how we can able to become multi-billionaire. So in that way, you have to think, okay, this business intelligence along with the business analytics may help us to reach that particular sky. Okay, so let me move on quickly to the other remaining part of my slide. Yeah. So here the benefits, integrity, the truth of the data, we can able to find all these things of the facts and figures can help us in obtaining the greater heights, obtaining the great decision making. So of course, if you want to trust that model, somebody has to trust on that particular algorithms or the logics what you applied there. Be thorough over there and identify the gap in your business. Okay, efficiency, productivity in our practices can bring the efficiency. And today we have done the model. Nevertheless, tomorrow it may become waste. We are all living in the technology, such a technology, because let me tell you my experience. I started my career with COBOL. They slowly shifted to C programming, then assembly level language programming. Then people talked that this we have to learn something about Java. We shifted to Java, J2EE. Now in India 2015 and 16, people talk more about the Android development. So you have to learn Java along with the Android Studio. Android Studio you have to use for the development of the apps. So once you're done with that one, then Python community exists. Now you have to switch for the particular Python. Nevertheless, okay, the program what I demonstrated in that particular cell. So that cell is going to call as Jupyter Notebook. It is a combination of 3 programming language: Jupyter, Julia programming, Python programming, nevertheless R programming language, Jupyter Notebook. So the cell what I demonstrated to you, it is called Jupyter notebook. Okay. So along with all these three, okay, along this journey, okay, Microsoft also, they compete with us. I mean to say, they come up with their own programming language like ASP.NET for server-side programming and so on. In this particular era, we have to update ourselves each and every day. Okay, we have to update ourselves so that now we can able to come up with a new model, so that now we can come up with the accuracy. Accuracy is a challenge for us. Okay, so once we are tackle that accuracy, so definitely we can able to improvise our business from scratch to the billionaire. Okay, and that's why the continuous improvement is always it is required. The effectiveness, valuable as well as leading, wherever you find that some kind of lagging is there. Okay, so it is better to go for analytics concepts, and evidence is nothing but if you can take the good decision making. Yes, of course, business analysts can't make the decision making, but they can recommend the top level management to take up the decision, right? So in that way, all these things are chained together. It is a DNA structure. Okay, this is what we have learned till now. Manual process were not fully documented. Manual processes are complicated and difficult to document. There are more data sources than you initially thought. Data is not as clean as you thought. Okay, so data, we have to clean the data. That's why now you may spend a lot of time over there for only for cleaning up the data, because just you can think about like this: you're booking Ola cab, okay, or some you're booking cab in Ola or Uber. If you know, they won't allocate the driver as it is directly. They will going to apply the concept of analytics. First, they will check the ratings of the user. First, they will check the ratings of the user. If the rating is good, if the person is genuine, then they're going to allocate the best possible driver whose rating is also high. Next thing is, so they have to identify who is nearby to your place. And the third thing is that, okay, how well you can able to reach to the destination in a shortest span, in a shortest time. So for all these things, they are applying the analytics. All these things are applying the analytics so that they can improvise their business. Just a simple example I just demonstrated. Okay, so for all this thing, we required what? Analytics. Not to forget business analytics. Okay. There are no shortcuts, of course. So everything has to be done in a proper channel. And this is what the questions I would like to pose to you. So why are data analytics are important? How do you incorporate analytics? If you can able to answer this question, I'm just thinking that as add-on justification for this particular seminar or the talk what you are doing now. Let me take up the questions if you have. Okay, others, if you want me to show some other different tools, definitely I can able to do. Let me take this crucial 10 to 15 minutes time for answering your queries if you have any. May I audible to everyone? Sorry, I'm asking now.
Yes, audible.
If you have any questions or the queries, please you can ask. I will try my best to answer that one. If I know the answer, definitely I will answer. Or else, together we can able to find a solution.
So
What you say?
usually data are found in Excel format, right? So
Mhm.
we manually have to convert that data to CSV and ARFF format, or there are tools to convert it?
Yeah, there are plenty of tools are there. It will going to convert. While saving, in Excel also there is an option save as to CSV file. So manually you no need to convert anything. Okay, just you have to drag and drop. Okay, you have to put always one click away. Okay, so you're there at the time of saving. You have to use save as CSV comma separator file. And coming to Excel format. Okay, you have to keep one thing in mind. Always you're not obtaining the data in Excel. It may be unstructured. Okay, you have to make it as structured. That's why you're using Excel. So it's called as spreadsheet. So what do you mean by that spreadsheets? Everything comes in terms of tabular fashion. So you might have noticed all these things. Okay, if I want to highlight any cell, okay, there I can able to highlight that cell in terms of row as well as column. Okay, so in that row, in that particular column, this value is available. So that means it is a structured way of representation of data. Okay, but in the real world scenario, don't ever think that you are always going to get the data in structural fashion. Always you will get in unstructured fashion only. Okay, but you have to convert that to structural one. So that's why it's going to take some time. Okay, converting that unstructured data into structural data. I'm hoping that I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you.
Yes. Anything is there? I thought it that I may be flooded with plenty of questions from the student side. But
The session was
Even
great,
Jasmine?
sir. The thing is, actually, most of them are from different backgrounds, so they might not have the opportunity to reach to this.
Anybody would like to answer this question? Why are data analysts important? Great. Okay, because I'm just started that if you can able to, anybody can able to answer that question. So you can able to feel that yes, we are given this for this particular webinar.
Sir,
Why?
data analytics, it helps to give decisions or make predictions for future to the top level managers, like what changes to take and where are they lagging in the, if in marketing, then where are they losing the sales and where they can cover it and produce more profit.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. Thank you so much. Those who are interested, for them, there's a one suggestion I would like to give. Microsoft Cognitive Services, they are given few, um, Vision APIs for free services. When you can use that one and you can trial it out, and you can get used for how exactly they are using these models like machine learning as well as deep learning model, especially in business analytics, how exactly they can able to carry out the things. Just here comes something like browse option, right? You can browse it even from the URL, even from the local machine. You can browse it and you can match the face, or even you can able to make use of natural language processing. So chatbot is one of the best example. I thought it that to implement the chatbot for you. Because of the limitation of time, I cannot able to do that one. If you are very much interested, when you can able to create the chatbot, okay, it seems to provide the opportunity for me. Definitely, I would like to give the session also to create the chatbot. It takes hardly 10 to 15 minutes time to create the chatbot, and you can implement that one to the any of the website. Okay, but I request all of you to please go through all this kind of concepts so that you can enjoy the concept of business analytics. Okay? Not only to enjoy, it's all about creation of the opportunity. Okay, creating the business opportunity. You can able to tackle exactly where exactly the problem lies. So definitely you can able to come up with solutions.
Yes, sir. Can one more thing? Can you share this link in the chat box so that all students can use it?
Sure.
And can you suggest courses where we can learn different programming languages like Python with, the business analytic course?
Okay, good. So thanks for asking this question. I forget to tell that particular thing. So Government of India, they initiated the SWAM portal. I think many of you are aware of this one. There you will find courses related to business analytics, especially the Python programming and R programming, okay, Tableau or BI, okay, and they are providing these courses for free of cost. But at the same time, uh, you know, if you want to gain expertization over that particular concept, you have to take up an exam. For that exam, conduction of the exam, they may charge around 1,000 rupees. Okay, but once you get that particular certification, that certificate is having lot of weightage, and it is going to provided by IIT. Okay, Indian Institute of Technology. So I request all of you to register yourself for those courses available in Swayam. For learning and all, it's free of cost. Okay, but if you want to put that one for any kind of applying the job and all, it is better to take up the particular exams. And I think Bangalore is the center for the particular exam. And apart from that one, I don't think anywhere we are having. One thing is another one is maybe in the Bangalore region. They are having another center. Dharwad is also one more center. Only we are having 3 centers in Karnataka. Swayam is one of the portal where you can able to find these courses for free of cost. And LinkedIn learning courses, if you are aware to, if you are able to, avail that particular courses, you can take that one. Or else, of course, Coursera as well as EDX. Even they will give R programming as well as Python programming around, very for very reasonable amount only they want to provide that particular courses. Definitely, you can able to take up that particular course and you can fly like anything. Okay, only thing here is once you want to learn any concept, you have to implement that one. If you take it as a theory, you won't gain anything. Okay, so business analytics is one kind of the domain where everything needs to be practical orientation. Okay, so theory does not make any sense here. So that's why I request all the participants here. So if you get a chance to learn about anything, any new thing, try to practically implement that one, so that you can apply that to the business and identify that how exactly we can able to obtain the best possible result. So because outcome makes a sense for us for everything. So in that way, I'm asking to all the participants to register yourself for the courses like this. So
Yes,
I think
sir.
any other doubts? Or else, if you want me to show some other different examples, definitely I can able to implement that one to you. If not, then I think we can end up the session then, right? Or anyone
Yeah.
would like, anyone would like to perform sentiment analysis by their own for the sentence. If the students are interested, definitely I would like to take up that one also. Or else we can move up towards the window vote of thanks. I think end of the session. Nagendra sir, I think you are here, right?
Tell sir, audible sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Guys, you can start asking questions now. In case if you have doubts, now you start interacting with sir. And many students are much more interested in business analytics. They're much more fond of that subject, but they're unable to might be feeling shy to ask the question.
Okay. So I think I'm on time, right, sir?
Yes.
Finished early? I finished early?
No, correct. Okay, sir. No issue. Yeah. But good information you have shared, sir. A lot of a practical exposure for all the students and all the teachers and everyone. We inspired with your presentation, sir. Good information.
Thank you so much. But I maybe feel happy if the students going to ask any questions, or if they're going to, if they are show any interest about the implementation of all this. So definitely I feel happy for all this.
Yeah. Some students are from BE background also, BE and BTech background, sir. And some students from different graduation background. So, but good informative you have shared, sir. Practical exposure, how things are happening in the real world. Guys, start asking, sorry. I think students.
So one suggestion for the students, chatbot is one of the concept where you may feel that where why how exactly you can able to use business analytics. Okay, so because in the chatbot we may able to get lot of queries from the customer side or from the user side. So there we can't imagine that even the queries may come in that way also. So chatbot, if you want to implement it, definitely you can able to plenty of different data over there, and you have to analyze that one, and you have to make sure that how well you can able to apply user queries. Okay, in your product, so that you can come with a better product in the future. So that is the main agenda behind using the chatbot. Of course, the second thing is that cutting down the user time, executive time over there. But the actual thing is that we can do many more analytics with respect to the user queries that may be available in the chat window. In the chatbot. Okay. So that's why I'm just looking for what kind of information I'm able to get in the chat window. But unfortunately, I'm not able to get anything over there. It's okay. But I just suggest you that go for development of the chatbot by your own by using Google Dialogflow. Okay, Google Dialogflow, and even you can use Microsoft Azure. Amazon, they are using Amazon Lex. Okay, these are some of the tools you can use to create the chatbot. And once you create your own chatbot, try to deploy that particular chatbot to any of the websites for your business websites. Okay, business websites, it may take hardly 400 rupees to 500 rupees to start your own. Okay, so for if you're going to deploy this chatbot over there, definitely you can able to identify what exactly your customers they are looking for. Customers, they may give signals. Okay, you have to catch it and you have to apply that in your product, so that you always can stay in the competition. So always you have to look for the competition. At the same time, you have to look for your product also. You can give better services. Anything is there? We can continue, or else we can wind up the session. I think, right, sir?
Yeah, Amulya, you can start, Amulya.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. One minute.
Ramya, yeah.
Good morning to one and all present here. I, Ramya, as a student from first year MBA, consider this occasion an honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Honorable guest of the day, respected Praveen Gujjar sir, Director Dr. Vinay sir, respected teachers, and my dear fellow classmates. On behalf of our college, Shisharipuram Institute of Management Studies, and the entire fraternity, I extend my hearty thanks to our chief guest, Praveen Gujjar sir, who spared his time from his busiest schedule for gazing today's program. Today, we had had an opportunity to hear your thoughts on the emerging trends in business analytics and its various tools applied in it. Thank you, sir. This will surely help us in the future. It was very thought-provoking and interesting address. I would like to thank our director, Dr. Vinay sir, for his constant support and guidance. Thank you, sir. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank Nagendra Prasad sir for organizing this event. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I thank all my classmates for showing their interest in this program, and I once again thank each and every one of them for making this program successful. Thank you, sir.
Let me add my words.
Sir,
So
please.
I would like to thank Nagendra Professor, Jayashree ma'am, for coordinating this particular event, and I would like to my sincere thanks to all the coordinators, those who are there behind this particular webinar. Nevertheless, I would like to thank management of SIMS as well as the director sir for providing me the opportunity. I look forward for many more such kind of an event in the future. So thank you so much, sir, for for providing such a great opportunity for me to interact with the students.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, on behalf of college and on behalf of Seshadripuram. Really excellent speech you have given, sir. Good information. And students are also very happy because with your presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Good information, like a real-time experience you have shared, sir, how things are happening in the real world. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Let me stop sharing the screen.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much. So if we permit, shall I leave the meeting then?
Yeah, you can leave, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks so much.
Uh,
If anything feedback is there, can I able to get that?
I'll share, sir, that information also.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a nice day, sir. Thank you. I wish good luck to all the students, all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, remaining students, first and second year students, like 11:25, be sharp in online only, because again 11:30 we have another session. Okay, everyone attendance we are monitoring. Please be online. 11:20 be online. Okay. Everyone applicable for both first years and second year.
Okay, sir.
11:20 be in online.